Now on the National Weather Desk, saying goodbye to 2022 with more rains and heavy snow in the west, even as some communities are still cleaning up from this week's atmospheric river.
All alone and the water's coming up, what do you do?
While in Buffalo, many people are still trying to dig out of their homes.
I'm 67 years old. I need help. I need help.
What you should do if you find yourself stuck in your car in nasty weather.
I have blankets, water, food, chains, a snow shovel.
The gift shop that turned into an ice house, literally.
It's about a foot thick
It
on the side of that house.
And a look back at the top space stories of 2022.
From our nation's capital, this is the National Weather Desk.
Good morning and welcome to the National Weather Desk. I'm meteorologist Matt Ritter. The weather this New Year's weekend is a tale of two coasts. In the east, folks will ring in 2023 with unseasonably warm temperatures, but it's a different story out west, where the so-called atmospheric river is leading to multiple watches and warnings. Let's start in Northern California, where a flood watch is posted through tomorrow night. Up to 3 inches of rain will fall there, even more in the valleys. Even Southern California could get an inch or two of rain. Then there is the snow. Up to 2 or even 3 feet could fall in the Sierra Nevada mountains. Snow will also fall across the Rockies in Utah and Colorado. Skiers should have some good powder days. The snow actually started falling yesterday. This is video from Placer County, which runs just north of Sacramento all the way to Lake Tahoe. Many people planning to spend the holiday weekend in the mountains headed out early, hoping to beat the worst of the weather. Caltrans is said to be ready with equipment and people to keep the roads as clear as possible. In other areas, the concern is all that rain and the possible flooding that could follow. First responders are warning drivers to be smart because many roads are susceptible to flooding.
We've got a number of roadways that actually have red lines painted on them just specifically for flooding purposes, with signs that say, don't drive across this road if water is above the red line.
Carhart says CAL FIRE has rescued several drivers stuck on flooded roads in recent years. And in the Seattle area, flooding has already taken place, with the possibility of more on the way. Reporter Paul River spoke with residents who are dealing with flooded out homes and cleanup.
Can it get any worse than this?
Pamela Lewis said she got more than a foot of water in her home earlier this week.
All alone and the water's coming up, what do you do? There's nothing you can do. Hope and pray the tide hurry up and goes out, because the water will go with it.
The water leading to more problems.
According to Service Master, it destroyed sheetrock up to 2 foot.
She and her neighbors have a lot to deal with, a lot to tear out of their homes, a lot of calls to make.
FEMA, car insurance, my car was flooded. Talking to my insurance adjuster.
On our street this morning, the Red Cross came by giving out cleaning supplies, which Pamela showed us.
It's just kind of a damage assessment, who might need some help, distribution of emergency supplies.
In Gig Harbor, we caught up with that same crew and talked to Red Cross volunteer Jody Robinson as we tagged along while they drove around town looking for signs of damage.
Are there homes that look really close to the water, looking for a water line that maybe they've come and entered the houses?
Supplies ready to go in the back of their truck. They continued their drive, looking to also search other damaged areas of Pierce County before their day was over.
This is part of the process. Sometimes we know exactly where we're going, but today's kind of a day where we're just in the community. Just, hey, who's out here, who needs help, and what can we do today? For sure, that's part of what we do.
Now to Buffalo, where cleanup is still taking place after last week's blizzard of lake effect snow. Some residents in the area are finally feeling relief, but the question still remains as to why things have taken so long. Chase Howell has more from Buffalo.
People are feeling comfortable leaving their houses with roads mainly clear, but for some people, they're not so lucky. Their driveway still filled with feet of snow, with their cars buried underneath. The big dig out in Buffalo continues for the 4th day in a row. Daphne Holmes lives on Riley Street. She's been using this pickaxe and shovel for the last 3 days to dig herself from her front porch to the end of her driveway. The 5 feet of snow stands between her and seeing her daughter.
I'm 67 years old. I need help. I need help, especially with this here.
Effie Schultz lives a few doors down from Daphne. She's been stuck inside since the winter storm Christmas weekend.
I haven't been doing anything, walking from the back to the front, looking out at all this snow. It's something.
She says the crews are doing a great job at clearing her street.
Makes me feel good because I don't have to get all this snow up. Because you shovel and you wonder, where am I put it at? You know, look at all this around here.
Grady Lewis lives on the opposite side of Riley Street. He says he got lucky and didn't have to do too much to get himself out.
As you can see, most of the snow was on one side of the street over here. On this side, we really didn't have that much snow. So the blizzard was definitely crazy.
What started as this and a lot of frustration for Daphne turned into cheering and an amen after crews stopped by and removed the snow from her driveway.
God is good. I say, I wish I could shout. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Bob and Brown, whoever had something to do with this, thank you.
Well, folks are going to get pretty wet shoveling in Buffalo today. There could be a steady rain this afternoon with a high of 53 degrees. There's even more rain in the forecast tomorrow, and it appears daytime highs will stay above freezing for much of next week. Well, freezing temperatures and ice, not just a recipe for danger, but also can make for some pretty surreal beauty. Like this gift shop in Wisconsin. And as Ben Krimholz explains, the frozen fortress led to a record-setting day for visitors.
The wild winds from Christmas Eve helped turn Simply Scandinavian Gift Shop into something that looks like it belongs in the Ice Age.
The wind was 50 miles per hour out here, along with that and freezing lake water. This is what you get.
What Gills Rock also received as a result of this frozen fortress was a potentially record winter day for visitors.
I saw some pictures on Facebook, and we thought it was pretty cool, so we decided to come up and take a look.
Well, it's been a traffic jam. There's been cars going by just steady, and kind of bought us out of Smokefish with all the people coming to Gills Rock.
If anyone knows whether this is unprecedented, it's Charlie Voigt, owner of Charlie's Smokehouse.
Yeah, well, we've been around here for 80 years, and it's just the first time it's been that heavy on there. Sometimes, you get some ice build up, but nothing like this.
The owner of the gift shop is actually out of town. She says since pictures hit the internet, her phone has been ringing off the hook.
Ice house, I would say. It's about a foot thick.
It is.
On the side of that house.
Those who made the tricky trek to get an up-close view say it was well worth it.
So it's quite a sight to behold.
Can't wait to share my photos.
Amazing. Now, New Year's is a time when many will enjoy football, and this year will mark 55 years since the coldest game in NFL history, the 1967 New Year's game. Will this year be anything close to that? Let's find out from meteorologist Christian Palacio.
It's about to be 55 years since the coldest game in NFL history, or the Ice Bowl, took place in our neck of the woods. First, I'm going to show you what caused the New Year's Eve game in 1967 to experience very cold conditions, and then compare it to what will happen for this season's New Year's Day game. Let's backtrack a little bit. This is the upper air pattern in mid-December. The polar jet stream is maintaining the Arctic air well over Canada. Now let's look at the pattern in late December. The polar jet stream dipped into the southern United States, allowing for the Arctic air to filter in. Now, leading up to the game, the low pressure system caused a shift in the upper air pattern and allowed for a blast of cold Arctic air right into the early morning hours of New Year's Eve. Now let's take a look at what will be influencing the conditions for this Sunday's game. This time, an upper level ridge is going to bring in warmer air, which will bring in above average temperatures. Now let's compare the kickoff temperatures. First, our average temperature for this time of year is about 28 degrees. But during the game in 1967, it was only negative 13 degrees with a wind chill of negative 48 degrees. Now we are forecasting the kickoff temperature to be around 35 degrees. So this time around, we're going to be about 48 degrees warmer than kickoff at the Ice Bowl.
And check this out. As parts of the country are warming up, the heat is melting snow that fell during last week's Arctic blast. Our Skycam in Hannibal, Missouri captured this snow as it was melted by the sun. This all took place in a matter of hours, and as you can see, there were areas of the ground that were completely covered in snow that just seems to disappear.